The original Star Wars films, A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi boast incredible designs and an incredible sense of world building. Of course, that does mean an abundance of Easter eggs and references. Now, with the power of the internet, you might be thinking every last one of these has been found, but, well, no doubt the comments will let me know. I'm Scott from WhatCulture.com, and these are 12 Star Wars Original Trilogy Easter eggs you need to see. Number 12, the Crowdsurfing Stormtrooper. The additional shots of various planets from the special edition of Return of the Jedi tend to divide people, but there are some straight-up fun additions tucked away inside. In the bottom of the Coruscant clip, you can make out a stormtrooper being jostled around on top of the crowd. Whether it's crowd surfing or just an empty suit being waved around in celebration is unclear. Either way, it adds something to some otherwise plain shots of crowds. Number 11, 1138. A nod to George Lucas's first feature film, THX 1138, over time this has become a popular number for all manner of directors to hide inside their films. Not to mention, it appears in all the Star Wars films so far. In A New Hope, it's Luke that says prisoner transfer from cell block 1138, but is also seen on a console behind R2-D2 and C-3PO on the Death Star. In Empire Strikes Back, we've got General Reekin saying send rogues 10 and 11 to Station 38, and in Return of the Jedi, 1138 is on the side of Leia's helmet when she sneaks into Jabba's palace. Number 10, the Outrider Ship. Added in the special edition version of Mos Eisley, the Outrider can be seen taking off just before the Jedi mind trick scene. The Outrider itself is the personal ship of smuggler Dash Rendar, the protagonist of Star Wars book Shadows of the Empire, showing what happened between Empire Strikes Back's cliffhanger ending and the opening of Return of the Jedi. Number 9, seeing two Bobas. Alec Guinness famously hated the original Star Wars films, but Jeremy Bulloch, who is most famous for playing Boba Fett, ended up connecting with fans despite never having his voice attached to the character. The reason comes from cameoing as additional roles, a pilot on the Tantive 4 ship in Revenge of the Sith, and he also played an Imperial officer in Empire Strikes Back. For fan theory's sake, let's just say that these two cameos are related. Officer Bulloch could easily be the grandson of Pilot Bulloch, with the latter betraying his family's ideals to join the Empire. See how easy it is for all this headcanon to take over? Number 8, IG-88's body on Cloud City. The robot bounty hunter who is employed by Darth Vader to find the Millennium Falcon, IG-88's head is actually a painted part of the Mos Eisley Cantina from Episode 4. It doesn't end there though. A white version of his body can be seen later on in the incinerator room on Cloud City, where Chewbacca finds all the blasted parts of C-3PO. The expanded universe provides some context to this cameo too. It turns out that the bounty hunter we see in the films is IG-88B, one of 4 identical assassin droids who were plotting to stage a droid revolution. He tracked Boba to Cloud City but was stopped from claiming the bounty on Han Solo when Fett tricked and destroyed him. Number 7, the Potato Asteroid. Yep, we Star Wars fans will even dissect the legitimacy of a fictional asteroid field. Turns out various sources have claimed the asteroid seen to the left here is a potato, and the one in the foreground is a shoe. Though it's agreed that in this specific scene these two asteroids are not potatoes or shoes, various potatoes were actually used as asteroids in a variety of other shots across the films. Number 6, Ben Burtt and the Wilhelm Scream. Ben Burtt was the sound designer on all the Star Wars films, so naturally he had a rather big impact on the saga. Lightsaber whooshes, blaster pews, and R2-D2's bleeps all came from Burtt, and you can see him on Endor in Return of the Jedi shouting "freeze" at our heroes in the shield generator room. Speaking of sound design though, once you know what the Wilhelm Scream is, you can't not hear it in thousands of films. Originating in Western distant drums, Burtt resurrected this noise for Star Wars, and it's used a staggering amount of times. Number 5, Klaatu and Bharata Nikto. Harrison Ford once said to George Lucas, "You can type this but you can't say it," which gets straight to the heart of Star Wars naming conventions. Point being, there is a ridiculous number of aliens with names that are little more than lazy variations of real-world nouns. One of the best, however, is a reference to the 1951 classic, The Day the Earth Stood Still. 2 of Jabba's goons are called Klaatu and Bharata, and bonus fact, the former was played by Corey D. Williams, son of Billy. Together though, these names invoke that film's iconic destruction-stopping phrase, Klaatu Bharata Nikto. Number 4, a DVD-only Easter egg. Hidden on the original trilogy DVDs, head to the special features disc, available in the original DVD release from 2004 but not subsequent releases, and select video game and still galleries, and then enter 1138. You'll get a series of outtakes and other behind the scenes footage from the shooting of the films, and there are some real gems tucked away inside. In terms of humor, we see Boba Fett chasing an Ewok and Vader struggling to lift the Emperor, but there's also some insight into the filmmaking process. Number 3, the shoe in the space battle. The finale of Return of the Jedi is probably the most impressive space battle in the entire saga. Feeling incredibly visceral and narratively weighty, it may come as a surprise that amongst the X-Wings and TIE Fighters is a shoe and a yogurt pot. At least that's according to ILM's Ken Ralston, as he snuck the items in just for shits and giggles. He literally said, "It was my way of just saying, see what you can get away with," and he really did. Number 2, 327. We all know about 1138, but there's another pesky number hidden throughout the saga, number 327. In A New Hope, the Millennium Falcon docks in the Death Star at Docking Bay 327, while a few years later in Empire Strikes Back, it's on Cloud City's platform 327. 327 also pops up at various other points, primarily in the expanded universe. But what does number 327 mean? Well, it appears on the engine of a car inside George Lucas's Oscar-nominated nostalgic throwback, American Graffiti. And number 1, posters in the Tantive 4. In the cockpit of the Tantive 4, the very first ship we see in the entirety of Star Wars, there are 2 posters. A universe-breaking one for the film itself and a Playboy centerfold. They're nigh on impossible to make out in the movie, with everything moving way too fast to see properly, but inspection of the original model of the ship verifies that it is indeed there. A sign of how, even in the pre-CGI days, visual effects designers would sneak in little things just for fans. The fact these come in the first few minutes of the movie means that you really had to pay attention.